Hey, happy Thursday. Welcome to Rip and Sip number 11, a Bitcoin Trading Cards happy hour. It's block 856959 and Bitcoin price hovering right around 58K, gang. A little less than that at 57,579, but one Bitcoin still equals one Bitcoin. So I've got Bitcoin Brandon here with me. Shout
Hey
out.
guys, welcome. It's gonna be a good show. Got a special guest with us.
Yep. One of our favorite pack stackers and community members, Mr. Dom Bei. Oh, look at that. He's already showing it off, all that gold. That's too pretty.
What up, y'all? Happy to be on Rip and Sip. You know what I mean? It's Spindrift right here. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah. We got a quick thank you for the sponsors of today's show, being Proof of Workforce, Panties for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Trading Cards. And we're going to be covering a couple topics, including a market watch segment where we'll dive into some trades that have happened recently, as well as some sales and some upcoming auctions here on Scarcity. We'll get into Dom's experience as a pack stacker in the community, talk about Proof of Workforce and everything he's working on in LA and West Coast Bitcoin activities. We'll do some pack battles and then finally wrap it up with a conversation on grading cards. So let's get into that first sponsor spot.
Right. Who we got? Proof of Workforce.
So Proof of Workforce is a nonprofit dedicated to long-term education-based Bitcoin adoption. Through adaptable adoption models, reliable educational resources, and community networking, Proof of Workforce aims to empower unions, workers, and organizations to discover ways in which Bitcoin can enhance their mission and well-being. They're looking for their, correct me if I'm wrong, fifth U.S. union to adopt Bitcoin with Proof of Works Get Off Zero initiative. And if that sounds like it could be you, reach out to our friend Dom here at Baywatch or go to Proof of Works website, proofofworkforce.org.
Very cool. Amazing to have Dom with us here. There he is.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you're doing out there, Dom. It's an incredible initiative. As a Bruin myself on the West Coast, I'm excited to see everything we're working towards, and we'll get into that in just a bit. But for now, we're going to start off talking about the market, talk about what's hot. Let's, Brandon, pull up some of the trades recently and hear what you got to say. Dom, we're going to want to hear a bit about who won what trades, what you think price predictions are at. Were they below or above what you were thinking? And we'll get right to it.
Exactly. So here we go. We've got some sideways price action as far as the Bitcoin price. ETFs are really hot, but what's even hotter is these Bitcoin trading card trades. So getting into some of the more recent ones. A couple weeks ago, Matthew Chick posted up in our community Telegram group, offered this a whole lot of cards right there on the left side. Shipped them to me in 2 days and was stoked on that trade. Did such a great job packaging those up, and all of those arrived to my house safe.
Dude,
and
how'd
sound.
I miss that?
See, Dom's just not active. You got to be in that Telegram chat, man. We got to get you in the vendors and trading Bitcoin trading cards Telegram chat. I'll send you that link right now.
Look at that! Look at that stack, dude.
This is a good stack. I scooped it up. Since then, jump in that trade group. He's offered 3 or 4 more other ones that I was about to jump on. I was like, no, let's get some other people jumping in on these so we can spread these cards around and whatnot. So Matthew Chick is definitely a trusted trader. Going into this one, I just woke up one day and I was like, I got to get rid of these cards. I just threw them out in an arrangement and took a picture of them. I put the lot out there for sale, needed to get some sats. And this was in our Telegram group, or our trade group. And, within 3 hours, this lot sold for, Dom, how much do you think this sold for?
Well, I see 2 of the Surfboard Pacific Bitcoin 22 cards. I think, is that a whole pack? Or that might just be a card in there. It looks like, dude, is that Mark Cuban on the bottom left? Who's that dude with the shirt? I don't know who. I don't think you guys would put him on a card.
No, that's Alex Gladstein.
I'm going to say this lot sold for 3 racks.
Wow. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'm
Pretty good.
surprised you're so beta. I would have expected a little hotter of a price from you there.
I would have expected that too. This sold actually same day for $3,500 in Bitcoin.
I was
And
right there. I'm right there, bro.
Yeah.
that
I did.
took that took 30 seconds to sell. I think it was listed, and I was like, this is gonna be cool to watch and see what happens because the price wasn't listed. It was DM for an offer. 2 seconds later, it was sold, and then we had to dig and ask Brandon if we could get that price. And thankfully, he was generous enough to share that with us. But
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's a powerful. I think I might have a couple of those, which I'll share later. But I think I got a couple of those myself.
Yep. So we got a couple other trades recently. I think this up next. Got Coil going to talk about here.
yeah, so here we had Crane, one of our beloved pack sectors, who's been on the grading train. He got a Michael Saylor PSA 10 copy. It's a low population, only a handful of them out there, less than 10 for sure. And he was, as you can read in the message, kind of testing the waters and getting seeing what if the market was alive. And so he accepted a best offer for $400 for the PSA 10 Michael Saylor Series 2 out of 500 card, which I think is a very healthy price. $400 for an out of 500 card is pretty sweet to see. So shout out to the buyer who got a nice deal on that one, and Crane who got some liquidity there. What do you think about that, Dom? Would you expect Saylor to be the top dollar out of all the Warriors, or you think that some other players deserve some more love?
I mean, that's a pretty, Sailor being a top dog makes sense. You know what I mean? I got to see who else is on the roster. Who else is in the Warriors collection?
I mean, Lynn Alden is the first one I go. I love me a Lynn with her artwork. There's the Adam Back, the Dylan LeClaire, Lisa Huff. You can get into the freedom fighters like that Gladstein, but those are different. That's a different category there. Brandon, do you have a favorite besides Saylor?
Besides Sailor, the BTC Sessions card is cool. I like the artwork. I like the artwork on Lynn Alden's with the DeLorean. And Adam Back
Can we pull
is
that card up? Let me see the one with the DeLorean. I don't know
yes.
if I've ever seen that card, and I need to get one. I need to get one of those if it's a DeLorean on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's smaller. We'll get it,
I'll
Brandon.
find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. I'll talk through this while we're.
Does anyone ever? This is a good question for y'all. Does anyone ever like the DeLorean is sick, and I love Lynn Alden and would love the card, but like also Lisa Huff is the homie. So if I cut out a Lisa Huff card and I put it on, would that add value? You know what I mean? Is like, oh my gosh, this is a one of one Lisa Huff on a DeLorean, even though it covered up another Warrior. Is that like a big no if you cut a card in the
Bro, if you want to be an artist, and also shout out to the chat with Samson Mouth, that's a big one. I love the anime style, but if you want to be an artist and start making some Bitcoin trading card art, you're going to be one of the very first to start doing it, and I think many will follow after they see how cool Lisa Huff looks with a DeLorean in the background, right?
Yeah, I might try to do something like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sign it Baywatch, hey baby Baywatch, and
Yeah.
just sign that thing. We'll see how much I'll probably pay top dollar for it.
I just don't understand how there hasn't been an Aladdin card with like a genie of the lamp theme, like kind of like with all the cards like this, hands are spread, and like I just don't understand that. But yeah, man.
He needs a life raft card, but that's kind of the freedom card is Aladdin in there. I see it that way at least. But here we got on the right, a Series 1 of one went up for sale. And it took a little bit to sell, but it did sell for 0.1 Bitcoin. It graded 8.5 by BGS, and it's a unique one because it's a lost card. It got relisted for sale from the buyer, so hit up Andrew if you're interested. But Dom, what do you think about 0.1 Bitcoin for a 1 of 1 from Series 1? We're talking 10 million sats. We're talking it was $60K at the time, so $6,000.
Whoa, dude. Which card was that?
That's that Greg Foss 1/1 Series 1 lost card.
That's that makes sense. I think that's value right there. I think that's a long-term, like a good card. It's a 1/1, dude.
You think any Bitcoin trading cards have the ability to outperform Bitcoin in the long term? We're not talking short-term runs, but a 10-year hold. You think a Cypherpunks, a Hal Finney, you think any of these cards can outperform?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's probably a good answer.
You can't but I don't know, like it's a different market because, right, you're talking like outperform Bitcoin to an aggregate market of buyers. But sometimes when people want a card bad enough, you know what I mean? Like you'll fetch an insane grab because it just means a lot to them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can never say never on that.
I mean, if we're talking 1/1s and we're talking there's only one available 15 years from now, somebody wants that Hal Finney 1/1 and a Bitcoin's $1 million, I could see trading cards sell for more than that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
So
yeah.
see that there.
When you have there's going to be at these high end auctions, and it's just going to be at some like foundation, and so some charity thing, and someone's going to go, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. There'll be whales coming into this market and it'll be beyond our belief. But go to the next one, Brandon. Let's see this trade that I think is up next. So here I met with a local pack stacker in the Midwest, and my trade was the bottom 3 cards from Series 1. And granted, I'm a generous guy. I like to think in the community where I'm happy to help out community members with their collection. So here, that pack stacker had made it to Bitcoin 2024, but did not grab those 2 cards that you see on the table, that green variation of the Nashville card, as well as Thank God for Bitcoin card. He didn't have any unconfiscatable cards, so I hit him up with a couple of those. He was looking to complete an S2 blue set, so I gave him 6 of those. And then, of course, the ultra rares graded PSA 10, or BGS 10 pristine, which is pretty sick. In return, I got my second favorite card. It's probably my favorite card. It's second favorite card. It's up there. But that blockchain Series 1 with Satoshi on it, the unalienable rights, which is a hard copy to grade well, and so is that World of Rusty. Who do you think won that trade, Dom? Everybody in chat said the top one, just by quantity, but I'm on the bottom, so don't hurt my feelings too bad.
You mean like they're saying that by getting your 3, the top trade, you got all those cards at the top for you?
I got the stuff on the bottom. I got the 3 cards on the bottom. I gave away all the cards on the top.
Yeah, I tell people don't fade you, bro, because you have a good taste, and if you want a card, it's for a reason, So, like, I mean, you're doing chess out here, and probably they think the top one until reality sets in a year from now, and they go, "Damn, bro, he was doing some chess while people were playing checkers." So, I'm gonna say you won on this one.
Hey, I appreciate that perspective. I don't know if it's always going to be true, but watch out, guys, when you're dealing with me. No, I'm kidding. Please deal with me. Cool. Yeah, that was a really fun trade to participate in. Anybody that's always looking to do trades, our community is super active with that stuff. Dom, we haven't done a trade yet. I got to get something from your collection here soon.
I know you're gonna have to see that collection and see what seems tasty, man. And you're gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, let's talk about the scarcity auctions coming up.
Yep, let's do it. And I'm going to take a break and grab that card for Dom.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go through it. So, scarcity, we like to work on collections for our community to make, keep things interesting, keep the market liquid, right? And so with grading happening, S1 OPP doesn't always get a chance to come to the light for sale here. And so we put together a Series 1 graded only collection. Here you're going to see just the 5 S1 blue cards. They're all graded SGC 9 or better. I think that unalienable rights might be an 8.5. I got the camera covered. But nevertheless, pretty sick cards. And then after that, we've got ultra rares. We've got the World of Rusty. We got commons. We've got a lost card and legendaries. 3 legendaries, all graded, going up for auction. No reserve. The only reserve is that lost card at 8 million sats. Hefty price, but pretty sweet card to go with it. So, Dom, of all these, which would you like to go home with?
I'll probably take the Hal.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah, I'll take the Hal Finney card.
that's I mean, you can't beat it. Do you have a Hal?
No.
See, that's what I'll source a Hal and then I'll trade you it so that you can have a Hal.
Okay.
I'll figure out how to do that, make it work.
Yeah,
I like
the S1 Op Education SGC9, such a sick illustration on that.
Yeah. And so that's something to plug for S3 coming at the end of the year. S3 OPP release and end of year is going to have all these, not all the cards with the Warriors on it, but all the base cards pretty much new art, brand new art. So you're going to see this education card in a new light, right? And that's original artwork done by the amazing founder Aladdin as well as his team. But the way that he is able to put pencil to paper and turn things into just magnificent artworks is just crazy, man. I really appreciate what he does because it brings to life these concepts. I never thought education was so cool till I looked at that card.
Yeah, that card is a sick card without a doubt.
Brandon, you got anything you want to take home from this auction? If you could take home one of them.
Other than the Hal, let me go back one page and look at these are S1 blues. I love the Satoshi limited edition card. It's
clean.
It's like one of my favorites. I think, well, other than that, the freaking Lost card there, that's
crazy.
I haven't seen that in person, but the foil on that is really, really cool.
Yeah. Booty Master bringing up, we can't wait for S3, but at the same time, we got to stack more sats. We all feel that. I'm with you right there, bro. Hopefully we got some time while sats are, if you want to call them cheap. They're always cheap relatively to the end game, but keep stacking sats before packs for sure. So this will be really exciting. Keep an eye out. The auctions end Sunday on Scarce.City. A lot of Bitcoin trading cards collection have gone through and finished well. This will be the 17th collection. So shout out Scarcity and the people that participate in that. At this point, I think we're ready to hop into Dom, learning more about your journey with Bitcoin trading cards, learning about that West Coast activity with Bitcoin being that guiding light here in that wonderful city in Southern California. So give us a little background about your journey with Bitcoin trading cards, going through the events where you first met us at PB22, kind of the next steps that followed, and then we'll get into the proof of workforce and stuff you're working on now.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see, my journey in Bitcoin, my first exposure, other than like everyone's story where someone first tries to introduce you to Bitcoin way early and you're just like, all right, like it just was whoosh. But 2017, I really was like, I have to look into this and see what this is about, and was more of like a passive holder. Obviously, y'all know the story with Pacific Bitcoin and ended up like rescuing a swan, and obviously was at that conference. And I remember being at that conference, kind of checking stuff out. And I think that was the first time I came across the Bitcoin trading cards, and just the vibe was awesome. I really enjoyed the vibe. And it's like, I knew just talking to people, like y'all have an incredible team. The artwork was really good. And what really impressed me about the BTC trading cards is that like it held its own just as a product, even aside from Bitcoin. And so I was really intrigued and interested in just like the cards are really high quality, and you just get hyped on them. So that was great connecting with y'all there. Obviously, who could have known that all these packs, what I should have been doing at Pacific Bitcoin is just basically staying at, around like desks where people were leaving bags. And I should have just been collecting Pacific Bitcoin packs like an animal, because I might be retired right now if I had done that, but kind of going into my journey a little bit, I've been really my background is as a firefighter. I spent a lot of time working with the firefighters union and trying to work and like take care of our folks and the firefighters. And I really started exploring the intersection between Bitcoin and wage earners and workers and laborers and like where that intersection comes together. And that brought me to form Proof of Workforce, a nonprofit, because doing work with the Santa Monica firefighters, helping to like educate them and them getting off zero, being one of the first unions to ever self-custody Bitcoin. I thought like, this is such an awesome space, but what does it mean if in 10 years Bitcoin does incredibly and we leave like the working folks behind? They don't find Bitcoin, right? Because that's one of my favorite parts is how Bitcoin was released, the genesis story. We love that we got to front run Wall Street, but the reality is institutional adoption's here. So it's more important than ever to, shine a light on Bitcoin and show wage earners like what it can do for them and teach them. And so that's why I'm pushing full throttle with everything I have. BTC trading cards, just one thing. It's been a really incredible tool in my work because everyone has different styles of learning about Bitcoin and have different interests. But I mean, I've had many of folks at work that have found the cards, or people I know whose kids now, like I gave some folks some of the Genesis packs, and they come in weeks later and they go, yo, like my kid was talking to me about inflation. And I was like, whoa. And, as someone, a lot of us blue collar workers don't have any education in like financial literacy. So for kids to be interested in finance, that takes a lot because kids generally have no interest in money whatsoever. So if a card can get a kid interested to learn about how the economy works and how money works, that's a very powerful statement to the product that does that. Because y'all know I have nephews and nieces, and if you literally give a kid $100 bill, they look at it and throw it on the floor. They're not interested. So the cards are a great tool, and I think it's amazing having something cool that's a collectible on itself, but also has an educational component to it.
I mean, pausing there just to appreciate everything you just said about one, the institutions are here, right? And we got to remember that we're here for the plebs and the working man. We appreciate and we're really looking out for those people before anything else. And then on the Bitcoin trading card side, with these Genesis packs, that was a you could say mistake, the way that Genesis packs came out. And they turned into be something beautiful where they're in the hands of children and they're orange pilling them in a way that's making them curious about money, curious about Bitcoin, and wanting to know more. And what that does to their parents and what that does to people around them, for you to come in and orange pill Santa Monica firefighters, get them off zero. Talk a bit about the Get Off Zero initiative really quick.
Yeah. So, one of the things I realized in learning about Bitcoin over the years and traveling all over the world and going to El Salvador is there's a common theme for people that are kind of shy away from Bitcoin. And that's a combination of misinformation and the consequence of what I would say has been a 10-year long negative press blitz on Bitcoin. And by that, I mean, anytime someone loses funds in a wallet, it's on the news. Anytime there's a scam, it's on the news. Anytime Bitcoin was crashing or price was down, it was on the news. So literally, how do you overcome that? You have to get to a place where you have some kind of investment to learn, but not enough to where the risk scares you. And that's where, we initially were like, what's the easiest way to get off zero, especially for a group or organization? It's hard enough to be in Bitcoin as an individual, but as a group or organization, imagine groupthink, it's even harder. So you have to neutralize that fear. So we came up with an initiative that was literally just get off zero with a minimal amount, like $1 per member. And that kind of makes you perk up enough to go, why are we even talking about this and doing this? But at the same time, if it all goes to hell, like, do you care about a minimal amount? And so that's what I recommend to organizations, all over the world, is that if you want to get off zero as a group, that means a collective body that makes decisions together. you have to start with something very risk adverse, because I use this comparison. If I were to teach y'all about, you know, any subject, English, history, math, physics, if I put you in a room and set that room on fire and started talking about, well, the way physics works is that you are you going to be sitting there like, interesting. Now you're going to be freaking out, like, I have to get out of here, right? You're going to have an emotional response. So that's very similar to someone that goes, oh, I'm pumped on this Bitcoin thing. I have a whole net worth of 100K. I'm going to put in 50K. Like, they're sitting there as if they're in a burning room and they're trying to learn, but they're shaking and they're worrying and they're panicked. That's not a good way to learn about something long term. So we wanted to make an initiative to get off zero that then allows people to learn, deep dive into Bitcoin, and then make the decision themselves if they want to move forward or not, from a place of knowledge, understanding what the goal is and like why they're doing what they're doing.
What has the feedback been from beyond Santa Monica, but the additional unions that you've been able to help get off zero? What has the feedback been, and what adaptations have you made to kind of your push and your pitch to them for moving forward?
The feedback's been tremendous. I think a lot of people have benefited just off the financial literacy alone, right? Um, people coming up with like learning about the way money works, even on things that don't even have to do with Bitcoin. Like a common thing is people that have like low interest loans. There's this concept that you want to pay your house off super quick. I'm going to pay off my house faster, right? And that may be a good thing. At the same time, if you're sitting on a 2.5% loan, you're giving money, you're handing money over at a higher premium than you would be handing it over in 10 years. You're not taking advantage of the asset that you have. And simply learning about that through Bitcoin, because you understand the way inflation works and the value of money and purchasing power, that's something powerful in its own. So people have been learning a lot. The ecosystem, they're really excited to like learn and explore that space, and it's been a ton of positive feedback. And we're just trying to get the word out to more organizations that we exist. We offer no cost education. We help any organization at no cost. We have no product. I always tell like groups, when we show up, there's nothing to buy. We don't want you to buy Bitcoin. We don't want you to do anything. We want you to learn and make your own decision and walk that path. So in that sense, we have an advantage over organizations that have a product to sell. I'm not saying that they're bad. That's perfectly fine to do that. But we come in neutral, and no one has to worry about after our thing that there's a pitch that goes, well, now that we've taught you about Bitcoin, in order to continue with us, you'd have to buy this product. It's just straight up education for the worker, no cost, no strings attached.
It's hard to get people to accept that, right? To accept that there's no strings attached. Like we're doing this voluntarily, literally out of the kindness of our hearts towards humanity, to help educate people, right? That's hard for people to accept, isn't it?
Oh yeah, people always go, okay, I get that, but what's the catch? Like,
Yeah.
where do you benefit? And for me, again, I'm really driven by the mission. Don't get me wrong. I love to prosper like everyone else, but we're at a space where it's changing some, but there's still fear. And so in order for us to succeed at our mission, it has to be in a nonprofit, zero cost format, because there's already enough misinformation. When you add a profit motive on top of it, it just creates more distrust on something where there already isn't some distrust. So, um, yeah, it's like you said, it's tough for people to think, why are you traveling to this country to try to educate workers? What do you? And sometimes people look. I was in Belize at a roundtable trying to like help come up with initiatives for workers to find Bitcoin and utilize it as a tool, right? Because in other countries, they have even less access to generational wealth building tools than we do here.
Right.
Someone at the table said, "Well, obviously you benefit if you hold Bitcoin from workers finding Bitcoin." And I was just like, politely saying, listen, they're trading billions of dollars in ETFs like per day. this small town in Belize is not going to move the price. Or you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
y'all buying Bitcoin is not going to help me as a Bitcoin holder. I'm here to help you. And sure, it might get some positive, but I mean, we're at the time now where I've seen insane positive press and media, and it does nothing to the price because
Yep.
it's such a big, aggregate market now. And so we see entire countries announce that they're now going to do something in Bitcoin, and the price just doesn't do anything. And so, um, yeah, it's they're always going to feel like there's a motive there.
Being based in West LA, what's kind of your vision for both Los Angeles and Proof of Workforce? How do you see the two of them growing together? Um, how do you see being in West LA impacting that city?
Yeah, I think this is a city with a ton of different workers from different backgrounds. So obviously the mission to build like a strong workforce is important here for me. I think there's tons of stuff, again in Santa Monica, it's a really fun, great place. And so a great place for people to learn about Bitcoin, hopefully one day. Um, you know, my vision for proof of workforce, I always tell organizations all the time, like sometimes as a wage earner, the hardest pill to swallow, no pun intended, is a reality that you may not change your like position in life to at such a great extent as you might think. And what I mean by that is there's a good chance statistically that as a wage earner, you're not going to end your life as a billionaire. It's a very, very, the odds are heavily against you. I'm not saying not to dream because, your boy, what's his name from that started McDonald's? Was it Ray Kroc? No, he was a milkshake salesman until he was like 55 and he ended up, it can happen and chase dreams. No one's saying that, but I tell people with Bitcoin, look at it as a generational tool to build for the next generation. And you're going to do very well in that sense because it is scarce, because it is decentralized, because it cannot be manipulated by, private industry, Wall Street, government, etc. And so my vision hopefully is that workers find Bitcoin, but not in a sense that they are going to go, I work a 9 to 5 today and I'm going to get into Bitcoin so I can retire in 5 years. I hope that they find it so they can say, hey, I work really hard for my money. I'm going to take what money I have in some savings that's not going to put my family at risk. I'm going to put that into Bitcoin because when my kid turns, 18, I want to give them chances to do things that I never had. And
Mhm.
and they're going to find if they do that with Bitcoin, they're going to hand something incredible over to the next generation. And that is how all generational wealth is built. Someone in the bloodline said, hey, I'm going to make a sacrifice in this life so my kids can have a better life. And that's when you hear about these families that built empires. You always can trace it back to some hard worker that really did things right, played it safe, and um, set their family up. So
I love that. I mean, when I thought about getting into Bitcoin, it's really helping. It's fighting for a better future, and whether it's mine or the people after me or people I don't know, or may never know, right? It's just fighting for a better future for humanity, and so working in it, saving it. I don't, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So
And
this,
on the regional stuff, we will get LA, we will get California. California needs Bitcoin. They do need it in many ways. They just don't know it yet. So we will get the Golden State will become the Bitcoin state. It's just a matter of time. Just give me a couple
I'll,
of years.
I'll shout out. I'm here plugging, fighting that good fight with you at UCLA. We got, a good friend at USC, 2 Bitcoin programs. We're going to try to push and get those institutions in LA. And I know CSUN, another university, has a Bitcoin faculty member. So there's a lot of hope, and the future's looking bright for that shining city. So
Amen.
yeah. Let's get into my favorite. This is going to be my favorite segment, pack battles. This is something new we haven't done before, and I know everybody's got some different types of packs here. So we'll have to see if the chat is the one to decide who wins, or Dom, you may be able to choose. We'll find out. Who wants to get started though? Bitcoin, Brandon. I know you got two.
Yeah, I got two. Real quick, I just wanted to highlight, I meant to do this earlier in the show. He's got a Genesis pack. But, this is the anniversary of this card. I mean, not this card, but of this event, right? This is the S2. It's a currency card. Talking about the gold standard. That's at the time President Nixon, 1971, suspending the temporary convertibility of the dollar into gold, right? So that is, Bitcoin trading cards, this cemented that event in my head. Like I remember hearing about it, I remember reading about it here and there, but having the picture of Richard Nixon there, and then on the back it talks about what a gold standard is. This is an S2 base card, number 54. So I think that's really important. That always gets me pumped up. If you're on Twitter today or X today, you might have saw a lot of people posting about the gold standard and what that meant coming off of that. So,
is there any reference on that card to Point Break? Because I know that was one of the masks when they were robbing the banks in Point Break, but nothing on there.
There's no Point Break reference now. But thank you for mentioning that movie.
That can be for S3. Yeah, we'll update that.
Remember, he's in the van. He goes, "I'm ready." Remember.
It's some may say it's not cool to collect cards that say got Nixon on the front and talk about the gold standard, but Dom got a Nixon impression. I think that was your Nixon impression right there, Torp.
That's the best. I know Torp's he's trying to bait me into the Trump impression, which has gotten bad because I never practice it, but
Yeah.
Maybe when we rip the packs, I'll slide a Trump in there.
All right. Brandon, you want to go first?
Let's do it.
Cool.
Put my camera on. There we go.
He's
got a couple of these guys. We're going
to get a one-on-one, I know. And if you get a one-on-one, I disappear from the show, bro.
There you go.
We'll do BBB first. So actually no one of ones in this. Biggest hit would be the Boomers in Bitcoin. Pretty sweet card. There's only 2,000.
Good approach.
I know that was
thank
nice.
You for the
Clean rep.
Thank you. We've got the judge, the jury over here, talking about my
good rotation, good setup for. Okay, all right.
There we go.
Okay, they're speaking of that Aladdin design.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay,
what do you think? Vertical?
I see.
Vertical.
I'm calling. I can see just from that. You want me to call it from that?
Call it.
Ooh. Oh, you haven't pulled it yet?
He's about to. He's going to do it in a second. He put it at the very last card.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to say it's going to be
It's going to be a boomer.
Larry Lepard.
Okay. I guess I'll go Gary.
If it's Surfer, I need to buy the card from you because my friend wants it and he's watching.
That's a nice
one. We love to see that. How?
That's
a nice Satoshi.
Well, let me make sure I know what this is.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I do know what that. Okay, so here we go.
Gary got the lead.
Gary.
Very
pretty.
This over here. Yeah. We're 441 out of 500.
Dom, you want to run it next?
Should have put that big up there.
Oh, look at that. Dom's got a whole collection in front of him.
Oh, look he's got an autograph and everything.
Wow. Show off, bro. Step up.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, you want me to rip a Genesis because it's not going to be.
Just show it off,
Maybe it's going to be there might be an accidental misprint in there or something,
We used to have some of those hidden in there somewhere. Need that autoed. Yeah, we got to go find Gary. Next event.
All right, let's see maybe if we have a misprint in here, okay?
All right.
We got the Y Bitcoin card.
Very important.
Resources to thrive.
If you don't know them, check them out.
This is a classic right here. This should just be in everyone's wallet. This is the white paper here. And I still to this day read the white paper once a month at least, just to make sure I'm anchored up and remember, the foundations. Marshmallow Experiment. Yo, this is a dope artwork right here. Bitcoin Exchange.
Ooh,
Clean.
that Badger.
All the like decentralization. You got to just know what's up. We got currency.
Oh, that US dollar.
And then we got how y'all run this show, which is tyranny. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. We forced Dom on here.
And then wait a minute, this is unusual. This is it's a 101 in here.
Oh,
This
a custom.
is only used by criminals. I think this is like accidentally put in here, so I am willing to part with this for I don't know about maybe 40 million sats, but holler at me. Looks like it might be and then we got the Thunder games to wrap it up.
Nice. Shout out Des Dickerson, right? That's dope.
Quality cards.
You guys are gonna be like, Koil, where's your Bitcoin trading cards? And instead of Bitcoin trading cards, I went to my local game store. I'm not gonna open all these, but I might open one. Well, I'm definitely opening one. Which one? So I went to my local game store and I asked them. I wanted the whole deep dive about all these different games and things people collect. We got Pokemon, we got Yu-Gi-Oh, and we got 3 different Magic sets. Now, I never played Magic in my life, but I learned a lot about it while I was there, and they're going to get me to come back this upcoming Wednesday. I'm going to my first ever Magic tournament. It's on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Level up. Anyways, which cover? We got Lord of the Rings, the set booster. We got Bloomborough, which is where all these characters are like little animals. Or this dark one that's a draft booster remastered.
I go for Dominica.
All right. Yeah, it's
same.
All right.
I don't think that little mouse pack is going to be able to beat Gary.
Watch your really pay attention to your corner control and your edge protection here. And those are 2 rules I live by when opening a pack. In fact, maybe one day y'all will make a conference shirt for me that says BTC trading cards and it says corner control and edge protection.
It's going to have a lot of edge. Yeah. You know what? This might be the hardest pack I've ever had to open. Magic, get it together. This is crazy.
Do y'all ever go like this? Do y'all ever smell the packs? The best smelling pack is the Satoshi pack smells pretty good, and so does the whale pack.
Hey, Koil, do you want to talk about that price of that pack or anything else that you kind of see maybe and why somebody would want to buy a Magic the Gathering pack?
Let me talk about Magic really quick. So Magic started off over 20 some years ago now. Back in the 90s, I think. I gotta double check. I'm still a rookie. But what I do know is that they started releasing, it was 3 sets a year, right? 3 sets a year turned into 4 sets a year. 4 sets a year turned into nearly every month. Okay. Magic the Gathering is known for being a playable card game. So it's the trading card game in, the game aspect, right? Bitcoin trading cards is known for being the non-sports category type of trading card project. So we don't have a game yet. While Pokemon has a trading card game, most of their community collects their cards for the collectability value. They're looking for the Charizard. They're looking for the shiny foils. In Magic the Gathering, you're looking for the cards. I mean, look at this. This is sad, bro. What is going on here, bro?
What is happening?
The worst rips I've ever
actually opened. Got a hold of that thing, dude.
I'm really messing it up. I need Dom to give me a lesson, but I don't think
said you got to smell it after you crack the seal. That's a sign.
I'm going to use a fishing lure.
Holy smokes.
Cutting myself.
So what's the most rare thing you can pull out of this card, out of this pack?
That's a good question.
You know what? Oh, one other thing. What's the most rare? I don't actually know that it's a rarity thing. It's a best card. And because, we're going to find out if there's even... So the other thing I learned is that if there's foils in here, it doesn't mean they're more valuable. Again, it's about what they do to the game. So let me see if I can... I'm going to try to put on a white screen. So is this any brighter? Not really.
You can see it. It's a pruling.
All right. Yeah, all right, you can read it. So Perling. So
Pull
as
up
you
a
can see,
little
total up higher.
There we go.
Sinjet got a nice little red border. So the backs of these, again, they're like a game. This one's actually is a foil. It's a pretty little red. You're gonna be unimpressed with my lack of knowledge here. But what I'm gonna do after the show is take all these cards and look them up and tell you this pack costs $5.99, and I'll tell you if I made anything back. Oh, see, that was pretty cool. This one has no border on it. It's a full art card, like we've talked about before.
That's your rare coil.
You
Is
know,
it?
is
Yeah,
it
you can tell at the bottom.
that
I don't know
you know about
magic.
Magic, bro? Let's hear it.
I don't. I know that's what I know Bitcoin, right? So
Oh, the
I'm
rare
prior
cards.
magic nerd, but that's the rare card.
Condemn. So these are like different actions. So they're in the middle of the pack. That means they give you 14 other cards just to play with. And what's cool is that we get to look forward in Bitcoin trading cards. Well, right now, we are a non-sports card category project. I promise you, Bitcoin trading cards one day is going to have a trading card game and it will rival the best. I mean, it is, you talk about kids and Genesis packs and talking about inflation to their parents. Just wait until there's a game in Genesis packs and they be playing with the other kids at school. And
Dude,
they
you have like the SEC is like confiscates Bitcoin, but then you have a card that beats that, and it's like, no, I actually have self custody, double like multi sig, so it beats that. See ya.
on. Is that a good one? Chase says. Chase, excellent question. That's bring me my dinner. No, never mind.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that was pretty. They're cool to rip. I'm gonna know more come Wednesday, and on the next rip and sip, I'll talk a little more about Magic. But let's see, Bitcoin Brandon. He's got one more Spirit of Satoshi, and that'll be our final pack.
And then I got to show y'all my collection real quick, and I need y'all to tell me what my heaters are.
There we
That's
go.
showing
There we go.
Because I was
So
just
here we
going to
go.
give my pack away. I mean, my cards, but unless you guys say they're good collectors.
Yeah, give them to me, bro. I'll trade them. I'll treat you
Here
handsome.
we go. 101 time for my guy, please.
Spirit of Satoshi.
Nomine Padre, Hijo,
So you can see there's a
Espíritu
1 of
Santo.
1 hollow. We can see that there's 13 1 of 1s. There's one card that's out of 21. So
I know he's going to pull a 101 because, like, there's like.
And you know which one? It's gonna be the Satoshi or the How.
okay.
I feel it.
Oh, see, SOS is a bit tougher.
Yeah, they're good
Tougher
pack.
than
Different glue. Different glue. Different glue.
different glue.
Watch for that reseal. Those shiny foils in the back.
Yeah, I got the foils back there.
Torup, I don't believe none have been shown off. No, after all this pack ripping of Spirit of Satoshi, not one. Not one yet has been pulled. But
Here we go. Noise. Unalienable.
you know,
Got the monetary history. White paper. Monetary history again. Dictatorship. I like that one. Hey, gold standard. That's what we were looking for.
So awesome that you guys allow the guest to be a half owner or whatever gets pulled. Like I love you guys for that. Seriously.
I don't know what this. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Spirit of Satoshi.
in that face. There you go, Dom. Half owner of a Spirit of Satoshi out of 1,000.
Yep, number 112.
112, which is 2110 backwards. So at least you have 2-1 in there. That's a booster.
There we go.
Wow.
Okay.
So who won between
There you
your Genesis pack 1 of 1, only used by criminals, the out of 1,000, the out of 500, and my yet to be figured out how rare it is rare card from Magic?
I think Koil won. I think that magic card is going to end up being worth some value.
Life from the Loam.
$50.
I'll go 50 cents.
50 cents.
The next highest bidder. Dom, I'm gonna save this to when I meet up with you in LA in October, and I'll get you to sign, and it can be a coil break special.
Hell yeah.
So as far as if we're trying to do monetary value, well, what can I sell my Spirit of Satoshi for right now?
I
This
think
out of 1,000
from
cards.
Gary Leland.
Okay, so
think.
this would be my big hit. You think this is my 500 card?
I mean, look at how good Gary looks on that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Okay, so
Yeah, let's see the collection, Dom. Let's see if this is.
Yeah. Show us what you got, buddy.
I want you guys just like let's start with why did the badger cross the road?
Ooh.
You know that artist off top of the head?
No, I can look at the back though.
Thank God it's on the back. Yonat Vox, killer. Out of 100, that's so beautiful.
93.
Nice.
Bitcoin having
you know that on
220 out of 420. No.
Bitcoin Apex, beautiful, out of Europe.
Lapard, 242.
Nice, love Larry.
Adam Back, Spirit of Satoshi, a 39 out of 121.
That's a sweet pull. Where did you pull that?
Nashville.
Nice.
Club Anders, that's gonna be a classic.
Out of 121.
This one of my big boys, fam. This would be the Alchemist.
Big boy. Where did you get that? Did you find that on the floor somewhere?
Bitblock Boom. That's number 2 out of 21.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. That was fun.
Bitcoin is love. I do know that one. That's Flo because she signed it for me at Nashville. Beautiful signature right there. We really took our time with this one. Great.
With that block height, 854, 253, 243, something like that.
There we go.
A little bit for humanity.
Mirror One. LA artist right there. I'm trying to get Mirror One to do let's get Mirror One to some Bitcoin event. Live painting. There you go. Bitco.
Yanowski, 55. I got a Gary Leland signed. And there's a couple other I'm not really showing here. I think I got another Spirit of Satoshi. And then maybe, so this one, that's surfboard, family.
There it is.
Woo. Yeah, that's surfboard right there. I probably won't sell this one because there's a lot of sentimental value for me there. So this one probably I'll hold on to because, getting a save on the homie Zach out in Pacific and just that roller coaster and like where I was at and all the great connections and folks I met that like led me to really end up, getting on this mission. That's going to be a keeper right there.
That's what it's about, right? Having these cards, like I have a lot of cards, but some cards are more important and special. It's special. It's that value to me, and I can look at this one card, my out of 21, and I know exactly where I was and who I was with and what I was doing, how excited I was, and it's amazing how these cards can lock in that excitement and that fun and the people with. I mean, we probably talk about this story pretty often, but Kyle and Gabe and I were in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
In a casino, and Kyle's got his pack of unconfiscatable that we're on a little cocktail bar table right next to all these slot machines, and I'm holding my camera flashlight and Gabe's recording, and he rips it open, and we got the video somewhere, but Koil just sets the cards down and runs because he's so excited, and we're trying not to make a huge scene and get kicked out of the casino, but that was a real special moment. It's locked in there.
We pulled the table out of 21 in a casino at the debut of the unconfiscatable. I mean, that was ridiculous.
So sick, dude. Yeah, you got to hold on to those because the sats you get for that, the memories are epic. So
yeah, best hit rate in the industry, man. Those memories come more frequently than, especially if Dom's ripping hoop. Having a different whale packs is his specialty.
I can't wait to rip the next packs. I mean, whenever that is, I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to land one of these 101s any day now. I can feel it.
I mean, you've been climbing up in rarity, man. You're staying hot every pack.
I know.
Well, you're just by the fire all the time, bro.
That's it, dude.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move into the next segment. Dom, we appreciate you being on here, talking about Proof of Workforce, your journey through Bitcoin trading cards, showing off that collection. We're looking forward to seeing you at that next Bitcoin trading card event. If you want to stay on, if you want to get in the chat room, do as you wish. But appreciate you, bro.
Dude,
Thank you, Dom.
huge fan of y'all, and I'm humbled to be on the show because y'all know that's my favorite booth at any conference is the trading cards, and mostly, like a lot of it has to do with y'all. Like, it's a great team, y'all. I love just like nerding out with y'all on the cards, and yeah, man, I can't wait to connect with y'all, and thank you guys for having me on here, and we keep rolling on the mission. So, and we got cool things coming in. Hopefully October, we're going to do something in Santa Monica, maybe have some kind of card presence there, and have an open source kind of a little street fair type of thing that we're working to put that together. So that'll be epic.
Hey, keep rocking it. We'll see you out in LA.
All right, y'all. Until the next 101.
Till the next. Peace, bro.
Later, y'all.
So at this point, that was super cool. First of all, I'll take a minute to appreciate, him diving through. Really, Proof of Workforce is what it's all about. Bringing everybody with us and doing it without selling a single product. I mean, that's crazy. Like, we love Bitcoin trading cards. We do sell a product at Bitcoin trading cards. And by we, I mean, just the community is selling cardboard, right? And in turn, you're earning energy and you're earning collectibles, but memories, etc. And education around Bitcoin is definitely one of those things that comes with these cards. And I love to see Dom doing it, out there to the workforce, to the commoner, to the blue collar man, for free, right? And not charging them. So
for free. He's a great guy, and I don't get to compliment him enough. So I appreciate him, and I appreciate seeing him at every conference coming up, and just brings the bucket loads of energy, and his commentary, his comedy, as well as his authenticity. It's off the charts. So always look forward to seeing him.
Yeah.
Cool. What's next, bud?
Yeah, I mean, we're close to that hour mark, but we're gonna cook a little bit. Do you want to share our next sponsor really quick?
Yeah. So we've got this. You may have heard of them, Panties for Bitcoin. What do? They sell panties for Bitcoin. If you've never seen them or never heard of them, check out pantiesforbitcoin.com. We've got a QR code up there in the top left. They sell types of bras, types of panties, and they also sell men's boxers. And yeah, I believe it or not, I'm wearing them right now. I'm showing them on camera. Can you see this? Check these out. Pretty sweet, huh? No, I'm not on camera, but I actually am wearing them. I got a special custom embroidered infinity divided by 21 million. So very cozy, very comfy. Check out the website. Really cool, family friendly. I don't mean it's family friendly. I mean family run. Super cool family that we've talked with and met several times at many of these conferences. Made in Italy, and I love them. So there we go. Next up, we take a quick second to. I know we already shared the. Sorry, I'm changing this real quick. I'm going to go over to. Are we getting into this now?
Card grading?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So, as some of you know, I've been writing blogs recently. I'm on to blog, I think 11 now, and that was with trading card grading. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the industry. At Bitcoin, while we were at Bitcoin Nashville 2024, they held the National Sports Card Convention in Cleveland. It's one of the most massive gatherings of collectibles and collectors, specifically sports cards. But here there were some ads by PSA at the airport in Cleveland. And PSA's, I like to say, value proposition to their customers is incredibly clear. And it's that 9 times out of 10, PSA graded cards sell for more, right? And they sell for more than raw, but they sell for more than every other grading company out there. So if you scroll down a bit, in this blog, I talk, of course, about the basics, right? We get into who grades, what is grading, what are the criteria, what do you look for, how much does it cost, and all of that. So continue scrolling down. We're going to really talk about and focus on this blog, and you can just continue to scroll all the way to the bottom, but take your time on it. Is the grading criteria, but mainly the grade distributions and grading populations of Bitcoin trading cards so far to date. I will lay some wisdom on you as we're getting down there, but grade criteria, right? So when you go to grade your cards, you have to consider who is going to be grading it, and am I going to get an ROI by grading it, right? So you can consider first who is grading it. So that's what this section is about. PSA listed as the first. That was the first ever grading company for Bitcoin trading cards. They're the industry standard. They're who most would want their cards to be graded by if they were to be buying them and had kind of a choice, right? PSA's parent company, Collectors Universe, purchased SGC earlier this year, and that is the third company that actually graded Bitcoin trading cards after Beckett. So those are kind of the three biggest trading card company or grading companies that currently grade Bitcoin trading cards, which is incredibly impressive. PSA started grading our cards November 20th of 2023, basically a year to date after Bitcoin trading cards was released in 2022. So here you see Tag. Tag is a new, more, you could say, more innovative, more transparent grading company, just as it is in any market, bringing new technology and trying to steal customers away from your competitors is a difficult task. So right now, Tag is definitely one of the smaller, I call them the new kids on the block. CGC is the kid I never met. I don't have personal experience with CGC, but they kind of round out what I say is the top five. In this part, I talk a little bit about the impact of grading on card value, and it looks into versus a raw copy to a PSA 10 to a PSA 9, kind of where do prices settle. So for the same card sold on the same day, a PSA 10 is nearly 3x that, or 4x that of a PSA 9, and a raw copy is more than a PSA 9, right? And the reason a raw copy is more than a PSA 9 is because people are hoping that they can buy that copy, get it graded by PSA, and have it be a PSA 10 and triple their money, right? So that's a little bit about the speculation behind buying raw copies. Of course, a PSA 9 is a mint card, and it's a great grade. It just may not explode in ROI on the secondary market, versus that PSA 10, which is why collectors who like to be a little risky choose to buy ungraded cards and grade them themselves, hoping for the PSA 10. So here, getting into a little bit of challenges and controversies. Some of these are just considering the inconsistencies in grading today. It's a reason why I like tag grading. It's called technical authentication and grading. The reason I love tag grading is because they're very transparent with their grades. They provide the collector with, instead of just grader notes, which is what PSA has just recently released, which are notes about why your card received the grade it did. They give you scans of your card that show surface defects and truly have a 1,000-point scale versus a 10-point scale for your card, which just allows for far more understanding of where your card really lies on a technical aspect versus a subjective aspect, which other companies currently rely on. Get into some tips, kind of discuss the future of grading. So tips involve card cleaning, card care. Shout out Kurt's Card Care, Mr. Minty, as well as the Slab Doctor. You can look up any of those three and watch their tutorials on YouTube. Some of these guys are masters at their craft, and by masters, I mean you can improve a card's value that has a wrinkle, that has an edge wear, that has surface defect like a scratch, polish those out, right, using their materials and using their tutorials. So getting into Bitcoin trading cards finally, which really in this blog, I wanted to set a benchmark for Bitcoin trading cards moving forward, which was to say how many cards have been graded to date and what exactly do we have to look forward to over time, right? So the way that I built context into this equation is by showing you guys how many cards are graded in 2023 non-sports cards. Of course, that I sent that blog and it's on the screen. It's a little small, so I'm going to pull it up myself here in a second, just to give you the exact numbers. But overall, here are the exact numbers. So for the non-sports card sets, 117,000 cards were graded in 2023. And for TCG cards like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering, 2.2 million cards. You go into Bitcoin Trading Cards Series 1, 263 total cards have been graded to date. And 47 of those are one of the Pack Stacker's complete set of commons, which is really cool. And we look forward to more commons being graded in the future. But at the moment, many of them are just the legendaries, the rares, the ultra rares, the one of ones, of course. But where we can see kind of the opportunity is looking at the ratio of cards that were graded a PSA 10, PSA 9, 8, 7, and lower. And you can compare those across the general industry standard for non-sports cards and TCG, where for TCG, right, PSA 10 is supposed to be, on the secondary market, valued more highly because it's scarce, right? Not only is it perfection of the trading card, but there's less of them on the market because they are perfect. In 2023 for TCGs, of the 2.2 million graded, 69% of them were PSA 10s. If you think about the volume of that on the market, that has to hurt the collector. And at a general, across the board standard, to say that PSA 10 is the only thing that can differentiate, them between a PSA 9, 69% of that 2.2 million. And this is why I like tag, and I'll shout them out one more time, is where instead of giving 69% of all those cards a PSA 10, you're going to get 69% of them being down to 1,000-point scale, and you will know what is the single best card out of 2.2 million, right? You'll know.
That's cool.
I mean, the transparency is elite. So to show for S1 OPP, we had 25% of current cards graded a PSA 10. But remember, I add a little footnote there to say that it is the only set of ours that has all the commons graded, and the commons of S1 are a very tough grade due to back edge wear, typically, some corner wear. So they are very hard to grade, and that kind of brought the averages down. You can get a better idea with Series 2 OPP because very few commons have been graded. And so we're looking, at a much better ratio of 47% PSA 9s, right? That's a mint standard, right? On average, you're getting a mint card or better, which is what we like to see. You look at the rest of our sets from 2023, which include, the commemorative sets, and you're looking at PSA 8 having that weight, and that's just something to consider where, Bitcoin trading cards was you could say refining their craft, mastering their craft, figuring out on the back end what printers to move forward with. And you make compromises along the way when you're working with speed and trying to push out sets for your collectors. But I know moving forward, I have a lot of confidence in sets that are going to be released here in the future, including Series 3, to be more clean. And so the article ends here with the decision is easy. PSA says so. I ask you guys, is the decision so easy to grade your cards with PSA versus considering the other options? Brandon, I know you had a chance to read the blog and obviously just had a chance to hear me talk about it, but let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I have done zero card grading. Again, Bitcoin trading cards is really besides my limited stint as a youngster with Magic cards. So I haven't done any card grading. PSA just definitely seems like the standard go-to. It's been around the longest. Just kind of, this is my views as an outsider. I would think I'd probably go to get some of them graded from PSA at the card shows. I saw a lot of PSA. I saw some SGC. I wasn't scouting around, but I didn't see any tag. That's just kind of, I guess I would probably start with PSA and see how I liked it. But if I had enough cards, I'd send them out to, is it BGS and SGC? Are those different?
They are Beckett Grading Services and SGC is Sports.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm still new to it. What about Torup's question here? I put on the screen. He's got a question about a
Do you
PSA.
send tag your PSA slab 10 and then? So I believe while some companies, including PSA, do crossovers, meaning you've graded it with another grading company and you would like PSA to re-slab it, I'm not confident on tag doing crossovers. We are working on getting tag onboarded. I've actually sent a card there that should be arriving this week, and hopefully they're going to go through the research process. I've been talking to their customer service team. And so by end of month, tag should be an official grader of Bitcoin trading cards. And we'll be able to certainly ask their team some more questions and gain more insight as more of us, desire sending our cards to them. To that point, it's really interesting when you do a crossover with PSA, right? If you have a BGS 9.5, which is technically a gem mint, which is above a mint, right? You're pretty much comparable to a PSA 10 gem mint. PSA gets that slab in a 9.5, right? So they're already taking into their subjective, grading considerations that, BGS slabbed this card a 9.5. We could probably assume that it's at least a mint 9, if not better, right? That's something that I find to be a very curious development in card grading. The other curiosity, and that has to do with inconsistencies, Torup is in-person grading, right? With PSA, you can submit cards like at the National to be graded in person. Yeah, the clear slabs are very beautiful. I really like them. But you can submit cards to be graded in person, expedited, 2-day turnaround. And I've heard, rumor has it on the street, that in-person grading, they grade nicer. And so one of these theories was slightly proven, but recently at the National Sports Card Convention with Bitcoin trading cards, where the first ever 21 club was graded a 10, PSA 10. And that card was resubmitted. It was previously graded a PSA 9. It was resubmitted at the National and graded a PSA 10. So it raises the point, these inconsistencies in this subjective aspect of card grading. It's a reason that I want to promote tag within our community and really push towards, because we're in infancy, right? As our community, we can kind of decide what we set as the standard for what Bitcoin trading card collectors desire. Brandon, if you're new to grading, just off of knowing what you've read and what you've seen by going to card shows, right? I will say PSA is definitely going to be more prominent at these card shows and within our community. But having an open mind for being a new card collector, what do you think about pursuing a card grader that doesn't have necessarily the traction on the secondary markets, the traditional secondary markets in trading cards, right?
It's interesting. Obviously PSA is been around a while, right? And now tag is coming out with, I don't think that PSA has cornered the market, right? They grade cards. Like I could become a card grader. It could be Bitcoin Brandon's card grading services. And if a lot of people like the way I do it, if a lot of people like my slabs or my grading, that is really, as a new person in the hobby, PSA having a 9 or a 10 is not as cool as a 9.5 or even a 958
Yeah,
score.
right.
Like that's cool to me. Like when you say you've got the best card, you've got is it a 1000 score? Is that what it would be?
Yeah.
Like you've got the 1000 score and like you can verify nobody else has it. But when you've got hundreds or thousands of a PSA 10, I don't know, collectability. It's neat to know that you have the coolest card out there, and it's neat as a collector. So I would definitely try out some of these other ones, SGC and Tag for sure.
I mean, it's kind of my mindset, and that's somebody that's coming from an experience. But when you talk about with BGS, Beckett, right? They have the Beckett 9.5 Gem Mint. They have subgrades, right? For every aspect of grading criteria, the 4 grading criteria, centering, edges, corners, and surface. They go 9.5. You can have a 10 pristine, which means you have 3 10s on subgrades and 1 9.5, or you can have a 10 black label, right? For me, what's the difference between a Gem Mint 9.5, a 10 pristine, and a 10 black label when it comes down to the 1,000-point score, right? I want to see BGS products, I want to see PSA products be crossed over with Tag, and for us to really put a number on saying a BGS 10 black label got only a 950 on Tag, right? And a PSA 10 got more than that, or vice versa, right? Like, we'll really have to do some digging, and it'll take some time to explore that market. But
Sure.
I love to see the community in the chat say they're excited about it.
I wanted to, we're getting close to the end of our show here. I wanted to segue into something that we should put this at the beginning of the show next time, but I wanted to talk about, I don't know how it shows up well, but this is our Reddit, right? This is our Reddit community, r/Bitcoin trading cards. We've got a total of 27 plebs. That's what we call the members. So 27 people in there. I posted the currency, the gold standard card in there. We're trying to get this going. Having a Reddit community is an amazing accent or feature to Bitcoin trading cards community, right? We have our Telegram group. There's only so much that we could put in there. I know sometimes Telegram is hard to use. It's mostly, a lot of people only use it on a phone. You can use Reddit on a phone too, but I really enjoy the way that Reddit organizes their content, right? So we've got here you have an advertisement for the Rip and Sip today, and people can talk about it. Let's find one of the ones where you've got a lot of comments. I put this card out there. What's your newest addition to your collection? And you got 4 comments on it there. So it's kind of neat to keep it in this organized fashion. And I think it's just going to be a really cool way to present information. We're going to have all of our resources out there. Ideally, we'll have the card maps on there. One big change we did to the Telegram community is we're moving away from card maps in the Telegram because it's kind of it takes up a lot of room. So all of the new and updated card maps can be found on the website. I probably could have had that.
They will be on Reddit.
Oh, on Reddit. Yeah, we're going to have that up there on Reddit. We're going to have, hopefully we're going to be able to create this maybe a wiki of sorts here in this Bitcoin trading cards Reddit subreddit. So something cool to check out. I'm definitely liking the flow of information as a complement. That was the word I was searching for, as a complement to Telegram. Telegram is fun to chit chat back and forth. This is a better way of maybe archiving things. I think it's definitely difficult to go back a few years on the Telegram, but you can do it if you're a diehard out there for sure. I know some of us are.
Yep. I appreciate the plug. It is something that has been a long time coming. Our goal right now, we're at 27 pack stackers in the Reddit. A year from now, or really a year from inception, which was earlier this month, is to be at 1,000 members in the community. So a long way to go, but I'm really excited for the growth that Reddit provides the Bitcoin trading cards community to really act on and see. So Bitcoin Brandon, what a great show this was.
That was great. I love Dom. I love having a guest. He did an amazing talk. I think our show is growing. It's doing very well. We are at a total of 1 hour and 22 minutes. We've got 11 total viewers at the moment. So I think we really strive for that 1 hour. We get the most content. We get the most viewers in that 1 hour. So we'll kind of look forward to that. We've got sponsors on this show now, and I think the next show is going to be even greater. And looking forward to once we do that new show. Will the auction have happened or?
Yeah, auctions this weekend.
Okay, it's this weekend. Amazing. I didn't catch that. Maybe you guys did, but the scarcity auction is this weekend for the S1. So once that goes through, we'll be able to talk about that in a couple weeks.
Nice, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your Thursday nights. Torup, I thought this would make you happy, having a drink.
I kept sipping, and he's yelling at me for not sipping. So
come on. All right, but appreciate y'all in the chat as well. Shout out Dom, and looking forward to talking to you guys